Hi students, in our today's session on the topic which we are going to study, that is a trick to find the equivalent mass of an acid, and another one also a trick to find the equivalent mass of a base. Here is the important formula. You have to remember that equivalent mass of an acid is equal to molecular mass of an acid by basicity of an acid. Dear students, here if you want to calculate the equivalent mass of an acid, here first of all you have to know that basicity of that acid. For suppose in case of base, equivalent mass of a base, acidity of the base you have to calculate. Okay students, first of all, before going to do some examples, we have to know that what is meant by acidity and what is meant by basicity. Basicity means here is the H plus ions in 1 mole of acid. 1 mole of acid. Example 1 for HCl. Here is the H plus ions only 1. So HCl basicity is 1. 2 for H2SO4. H2SO4 is the sulfuric acid. Here we have that example, and here the basicity of this sulfuric acid is 2. Coming to phosphoric acid, H3PO4 here, and 3 for H3PO4. That means 3 is the basicity of this phosphoric acid. Okay, and let's see for the next one, acidity of a base. And what is meant by acidity means OH minus ions in 1 mole of a base. For suppose here is the example NaOH and calcium hydroxide, and if you take the example of magnesium hydroxide also, 1 for NaOH, that is the acidity of this NaOH is 1. 2 for calcium hydroxide. Here students, you can see OH minus ions are 2. So this acidity of this base is 2. Okay, we shall go for the next one, MgOH twice. This is magnesium hydroxide. The acidity of this magnesium hydroxide is also 2. Like that. According to Arrhenius theory, you know that acid and base definitions. You know, acid means a substance which is producing H plus ions in its aqueous medium, that is an acid, and base means a substance which produces OH minus ions in its aqueous medium, that is only base. Okay, basing upon that, basicity means H plus ions are presented in 1 mole of acid is basicity. Acidity means OH minus ions are presented in 1 mole of base is called as acidity. Right, now coming to this formula, what we have here, equivalent mass of an acid is equal to molecular mass of an acid by basicity of an acid. Here is the molecular mass, means we need to find out the molecular mass of entire compound. Let's see some examples now, then you will have some idea. In this first example, oxalic acid chemical formula COOH twice. Okay, find the equivalent mass of this oxalic acid. Now we have to apply this formula to this oxalic acid, molecular mass of an acid. Molecular mass means we need to find out all the elements presented in this compound, molecular mass. Okay, here students, carbon, oxygen and hydrogen. So coming to carbon atomic number is 6 and the molecular mass is 12, plus here 2 oxygens and twice also is there, so 4 oxygens. That means 4 into 16 is the molecular mass of this oxygen, plus hydrogen. How many hydrogen atoms are presented here? 2 hydrogens. So you need to take 2 into 1. So by basicity of an acid, here is the basicity means here OH minus ions, OH ions are 2 presented here. So simply you can take that by 2. Now students, if you add these two, 12 plus 64 plus 2 by 2. Then how much students? It is 90 by 2, that is only 45. 45 is the equivalent mass of this oxalic acid. This is our first example. Let us see the next example now. What we have, HClO4. This is the acid name of perchloric acid. Here, what are the atoms presented? Hydrogen, chlorine and 4 atoms of oxygen. So for this also we need to find out first of all that molecular mass of an acid. So molecular mass means for hydrogen it is 1, for chlorine atomic number students, that is and the atomic mass is 35.5. Plus, here how many oxygen atoms presented, students? Here only 4 atoms. So, we have to do this 4 into 16. 16 is the atomic mass of oxygen by how many H plus ions? Here only 1. So, you no need to write again this one. Now, you simply calculate this one. Then, students, how much you should get? 36.5 plus 64. That is 100.5. So this is the equivalent mass of perchloric acid. Okay, we shall go for the next example here. The next one is sulfuric acid. Let us see about this sulfuric acid. The formula is H2SO4. Here what are the elements presented? Let us see: hydrogen, sulfur and as well as oxygen. So H2, 2 hydrogen atoms, only 1 sulfur and 4 oxygens here. According to molecular mass of this acid is 2 hydrogens plus only 1 sulfur. Sulfur atomic number is 16 and its atomic mass is 32 plus 4 oxygens here into 16. So 16 is the atomic mass of this oxygen, and students here H plus H at hydrogen atoms are 2. So simply basicity of an acid is 2 here. Okay, now let us simply calculate this one, and 2 plus 32 plus 64 here, students, 98 by 2. So that is 49 is the equivalent mass of an acid. So this is the equivalent mass of sulfuric acid. Okay, right. Let's see the next example. Just if you take the example of nitric acid, HNO3. Here are the presented elements: hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, let us see now what is the molecular mass of this acid. Hydrogen means you can take it simply 1 plus nitrogen atomic number is 7. So its atomic mass is 14. Plus again oxygen atoms are 3 presented here, 3 into 16, simply you can take like this. And students, here only basicity of an acid is only 1, so you can ignore that. Simply you can do this simple calculation here: 15 plus 48, now 63 gram per mole. That is only the equivalent mass of this nitric acid. Okay, now let's see the last example here. What we have: phosphoric acid, H3PO4. In this phosphoric acid, what are the elements presented, students? Hydrogen, phosphorus and oxygen again. So according to that, molecular mass of this phosphoric acid is coming to hydrogens. How many hydrogens we have here? 3 hydrogens plus only 1 phosphorus. Phosphorus means phosphorus atomic number is 15 and its atomic mass is 31 plus 4 into 16. 16 is the atomic mass of oxygen. Now by basicity of an acid, basicity of an acid, that is the phosphoric acid, is here 3. Why? Because 3 H plus ions are presented here. Now students, 3 plus 31 plus how much, students? Here 4 into 16 means 40. 64 here by 3. Now we have 98 by 3, simply 32.6 gram per mole is the equivalent mass of this phosphoric acid. Okay students, this is about the simple calculation of trick to find the equivalent mass of an acid. These are the examples. Now this is the important formula, you have to remember this. Now students, let's go for the base trick to find equivalent mass of a base. This is the important formula here, what I have written. Equivalent mass of a base is equal to molecular mass of base by acidity of a base. Acidity, as I told you previously, OH minus ions you need to calculate. Let us see the examples one by one. Example here, calcium atomic number is 20 and its atomic mass is 40 plus, and here oxygen and hydrogen also presented. Here students, 2 oxygens and 2 hydrogens. So 2 into 16, that is 32 plus 2. Now OH ions are OH minus ions or acidity of a base. That means you need to count OH minus ions, how many are presented here. So only 2. Now the calculation is 74 by 2, that is 37. This 37 is the equivalent mass of calcium hydroxide. Okay, let's see the next example. What we have, magnesium hydroxide here. Again, in this, how many elements are presented? 3 elements. Those are magnesium, oxygen and hydrogen. So coming to molecular mass of this base is magnesium hydroxide. Here magnesium atomic number is 12 and its atomic mass is 24.3, plus oxygen, here 2 oxygen atoms, so 2 into 16, 32, and coming to hydrogens only 2 by 2. Okay, 2 is the acidity of a base. Now magnesium hydroxide means here 58.3 by 2. Simply 29.15 is the equivalent mass of this base. Okay, right. Let's see the next example. Here potassium hydroxide, KOH. Here are the elements potassium and oxygen and hydrogen. Basing upon its atomic numbers, we need to calculate the molecular mass of this base. Potassium atomic number is 19 and its atomic mass is 39, plus only single oxygen, so 16 you have to take, single hydrogen 1 you have to take. So total is 56 grams per mole is the equivalent mass of KOH, potassium hydroxide. Let's see the last example here, sodium hydroxide, NaOH. This is only caustic soda. Okay, and here sodium, oxygen and hydrogen, these 3 elements presented. So students, you need to calculate the molecular mass of this base basing upon its atomic number. Sodium atomic number is 11 and its atomic mass is 23, and plus oxygen, only single oxygen is there, that is 16, plus only single hydrogen is there, so 1. Then 40 grams per mole. It is the equivalent mass of the base sodium hydroxide. Okay students, this is about our today's session. Simple trick to find the equivalent mass of acid and equivalent mass of a base. Okay students, if you understand this class, you can subscribe to this channel for my further updates. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.